a seat and buckled in at the American Airlines Arena as the Heat look to grab a win here in Miami. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. One of the top caliber players we'll be watching is LeBron James.
He is arguably the best defensive player in the game today. The amazing thing is that he can guard all 5 positions. If you think back, I think that's unprecedented. I don't think anybody has ever had that type of defensive ability in the history of this league.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I mean, and his defense is so good it even makes highlights. How about that? I mean, you love his aggressiveness, chasing down blocks, staying on ball handlers at the hip. I mean, knocking the ball against the backboard. I mean, he does everything, and he does it with such force and agility and flair, but it's kind of understated flair. I mean, he is really quite special as a player.
The Suns won the road trip here before heading back to Phoenix. They've got a good chance to prove themselves in what is going to be a very difficult part of their schedule coming up. Guys, with the bulk of their games coming up on the road, it's going to be tough.
Well, right now for the Suns, they've inserted themselves right into the playoff conversation, at least in the early going, that is.
Yeah, they seem to have turned a corner, climbing the ladder to a team that just might make the postseason.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall, Steve, to the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
You know, for so long, the Suns had been one of the stronger teams in the West and typically could just blitzkrieg Eastern Conference teams with their offense. That's not the case anymore. It really was the East that got the better of the Suns last season.
And it's Bledsoe off the drive. That's good. Bledsoe's got his first points of the game. Phoenix on defense. Last game matched up with the Magic. Tough loss there.
Now, Kevin, I'm all for aggressive defense, but they were over the top in that game and wound up in a lot of foul trouble.
Well, Steve, you and I both know it, Kevin as well. There's a difference between being aggressive and being reckless. Clearly, they were the latter.
Well, back to the Suns against the Eastern Conference. They really seemed to flounder at times, and they had to travel to the East Coast. And, Steve, even when they hosted teams in the desert,
you know, all good things must come to an end, and the Suns' dominance over the East wasn't going to last forever. Because remember, for many years, the Suns just ran roughshod over the Eastern Conference. But only 8 wins in their 30 games against the East. That was by far the lowest total of anybody in the West.
No problems knocking that one down.
Looked like there was a little confusion there as to who was supposed to be guarding him.
The Heat have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Now here's McLemore, covered by Smith. LeBron kicks to Griffin. Back to LeBron. He dishes it to McLemore. Shot clock at 3. The fadeaway. No good. So Phoenix will take it the other way. And this is their first time matched up with this year's Heat team.
Well, it's their only look at this team all season for these fans, Kevin, with the interconference matchup that we have.
Steve, talking about these interconference matchups, you just don't see these teams all that much. You're not familiar with the rosters as much, and they only get together, as Steve was saying, Clark, just twice a year.
And being the first meeting of that 2-game series you just talked about, the pressure's usually more on the home team to get the job done and not set yourself up to get swept when you visit their place later on.
Michael Beasley, he's checked in for Miami.
Well, what a series it was in the finals a year ago. Such great basketball, 2 teams that like to play up-tempo. And I'll tell you, the Spurs had Miami. They had the series in the bag. They were 1 play away from wrapping it up in Game 6, but the miracle comeback from the Heat that led to the Game 7 victory and another title for the Miami Heat.
The Heat trail by 8. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Yes, Kevin, I spoke briefly with Eric Spoelstra. Coach said a main goal of theirs is to prevent easy looks from outside. He told me closing out hard on all their shooters is going to be a very big key in this one. If we can't bother their shooters, it's going to be an awfully long 4 quarters for us, gentlemen. We'll see how it turns out, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Devising a strategy, Clark, to take away that three-point shot.
Yeah, I think it's an important part of your defensive game plan because teams nowadays are just too good to not defend them from behind the three-point line.
Clark, it was interesting because the games themselves weren't particularly close through the first half of the series, but things started to get really tight when they left San Antonio after Game 5.
How about that, Kevin? You talk about things tightening up. We had a game for the ages in Game 6. 28.6 seconds to go. The Spurs +5. Miami needed a miracle, and they found it in the form of timely three-point shooting and got some help from the San Antonio Spurs missing some free throws.
The Game 6 was about as intense an NBA game as you'll ever see.
Oh, it was off the charts. Absolutely fantastic.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Greg Oden, he's checked in for Horford. Anderson comes in for Blake Griffin. And it's Norris Cole in for Ray Allen. Miami no good on that time either.
You know, that mid-range jump shot is not his strong suit, even when he gets a good look like that.
Bledsoe with it. He had a 30-point outing their last game against the Magic in Orlando.
I thought his rebounding was impressive as well, guys. He made some big boards, really helped out on the glass, helped his team out big time.
Well, coming off his impressive showing in the 2012 playoffs last season, really a breakout season for the dynamic Eric Bledsoe.
Out of bounds, Phoenix will take possession.
Where was he going with that pass? I mean, that's just an awful turnover.
A big group substitution here for Phoenix. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Fry. Gerald Green comes in for Marcus Morris. Goran Dragic is checked in for Eric Bledsoe. And it's Barbosa in for Ish Smith. And first time out of the game called for Phoenix. And Clark, going back to Bledsoe, we knew how tough he could be at the defensive end of the floor, but his progress offensively. You know, Steve, I thought that really turned a lot of heads of GMs around the NBA when he was taking the place of the injured Chris Paul.
Yeah, early in his career, you could back off him defensively. He didn't have a lot of confidence in his shot, but he improved there, and he's such an amazing athlete that he has the ability to play make, to get into the paint and create havoc for the defense.
Purely from a size standpoint, that is a mismatch that's going to be hard to overcome defensively.
The drive by Green. Dishes it to Plumlee. Barbosa. Dragic left side. Nice ball movement by Phoenix. Stolen by Anderson. An even 3-on-3 break. There's 31 seconds left in the first quarter. Pass to Green. Outside Dragic. They kick it out to Green. And that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist.
He could have forced a tough inside shot, but made a terrific kick out to find the open jumper instead.
Out of bounds, Phoenix will take possession.
Just got a little careless on that pass. They should be able to connect on those.
15 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Three-pointer. Another three for Phoenix.
They are making some noise from downtown, guys.
And they've got themselves a very nice lead to show for it.
Beasley outside. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Phoenix ahead. They're up by 11. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena.